I think everybody is familiar with what a Karen is by now because the phrase Karen has taken the internet by storm. If you are a middle-aged woman who demands to see the manager because you're upset about the way a business is operating, you are a Karen. If you pull out your cell phone and start screeching at someone doing something kind of, against the rules, but not really a big deal, you are a Karen. If you start filming people and screaming at them for not wearing masks, you are, in fact, a Karen. And now we have the queen of all Karens. Okay, not really, but we have Karen Swisher. I did it again. I'm so sorry. It's Kara Swisher for the New York Times, but her name is just so close. Demanding that Twitter cleanse the Trump stain. The president is spreading a vile conspiracy theory on the platform. Maybe Twitter should finally hold him to its rules. Twitter doesn't have rules against being stupid. I'm sorry. Listen. This is the fundamental the fundamental principle behind Karen culture. And I'll let you know too, I'm not going to say cancel culture anymore because think about it for 2 seconds. I mean, it's Karen culture, right? The only difference between a Karen and what happens online with social justice warriors is that we can see the Karens, but they're doing the same thing. Think about it, right? You get a video of like somebody is, walking down the street not wearing a mask. And then Karen comes out and starts yelling and blocking you or saying like, no, you can't, you have to wear a mask. And it's like, why do you care? Leave me alone. Or the infamous viral video where some BMX riders are trying to jump downstairs. You may have seen it. It's got like 60,000 retweets. For those that haven't, there's a big stair set. We in the, I don't know what you call it, skateboarding, biking. It's a location called El Toro, the Bull. It's a massive stair set. And this dude's on his bike and he wants to do this really crazy trick, right? And a Karen pulls up in a cart and blocks it for no reason. I mean, it's like, I don't want you jumping off stairs. It's like, dude, why? There's nobody here. The building's closed. That's Karening. Like, for no reason, you just want to assert your authority over someone else. We get it. Well, this kid, I don't condone this too. I actually don't like, that people do this kind of stuff. It's like if someone gives you, is giving you the business, you just leave and come back later. But I get it. Dude really wanted to get his trick. They're pros. They're filming. It's part of his job. But there is a challenge when you're, let's be honest, trespassing. But so anyway, this dude gets in the car. It's a golf cart. He backs it up. She's screeching like a banshee. Dude nails a tail whip down this massive stair set. If you don't know what that means, trust me, it's a legit trick. So this is a really cool video. Everybody loves it. Because it's showing the Karens up. We as Americans are very much for freedom. Online, you have Karen culture. We've called it cancel culture. I'm going to call it Karen culture. You know why? Think about it. Karen Swisher, okay? Now that was on purpose. The other one was on purpose too, let's be honest. But anyway, the point is, she's like, I don't like the fact that Trump is a bad person, that he says mean things. She actually advocates in this article that Twitter should set up a council or a content board to review the naughty things that Donald Trump says and purge them. Okay, that's ridiculous. Okay, you can't. Let me tell you something. Listen, if I went outside right now and said something dumb and offensive, what could you do about it? Nothing. And we engage in political discourse on social media, so just chill. Okay, that's it. All right, you got to chill. But you get all these people who are online seeing mean words, and they go, that's hate speech. That's against the rules. I'm reporting you. It's like this desperate attempt to feel powerful. Well, this is what we get. Twitter must cleanse the Trump stain, says Karen Swisher. All right, let's just read it. Please delete those tweets. The widower begged in a letter last week to Twitter's chief executive, Jack Dorsey. My wife deserves better. Yes, Twitter. Lori Klosudis certainly does deserve better. Nearly 2 decades after she died in a tragic accident that has morphed into a macabre and continuing nightmare for her husband, Timothy Klosudis. I'm going to stop right there and just say this. Please delete those tweets. First and foremost, I think Trump is really, really over the line. He has crossed the line with these constant tweets about Joe Scarborough and this woman. It's like, dude, just stop, man. No one cares about Joe Scarborough enough for like, listen, I saw the first tweet when Trump brought it up and I was like, oh, geez, here he goes again. But the first tweet, it's kind of like, yeah, it's Trump. I get it, right? He's going after this dude and he's hitting him below the belt. I get it. But like the fourth tweet, I'm like, dude, I don't care about Morning Joe, bro. I don't. It's one guy on a stupid opinion show with his wife or whatever. That's over the top. And let's be real, man. At a certain point, it's like, dude, we get it. You know, it's like beating a dead horse. It's like, it reminds me of that meme from The Simpsons where Homer is beating up the Krusty burglar. And the kid's like, stop. He's already dead. It's like, okay, we get it, dude. You know what I mean? So now you have the husband of this woman coming out. He wrote this letter to Jack Dorsey. I think I actually have it here. He writes a letter to Jack Dorsey asking him to delete the tweets. Nah, that's not okay. I'm sorry, man. Look, I do not like Trump tweeting about this, but I got to be honest. You can't go and I mean, you can ask for sure, but Jack should absolutely not take down these tweets. And guess what? A bunch of other journalists surprisingly agree. They say Jack Dorsey should not intervene, should not delete these tweets. Trump should. It's like, yeah, okay, all right. I can respect that. If you think Trump shouldn't have done it, Trump should, take it back. Fine. Some people think he shouldn't. I actually think Trump should not take the tweets back. I don't think he should delete them, and I don't think they should be banned. You know why? Let everyone see what Trump has to say. Now, if Trump wants to get rid of them, okay, fine. You can delete whatever tweets you want. I recently purged my entire Twitter account of everything because I hate Twitter. Twitter is such an awful place. But it should listen. The point of free speech is that we want to get to know you, man. We want to see what you have to say, and when you say something that people don't like, we want to have that available to, for people can mention. Now, if you choose to delete it, fine. If Trump likes the tweets and he stands by them, then he should be allowed to say them. Think about political discourse before Twitter. Now, I get it. Twitter has rapidly accelerated political discourse. You used to have to go to the water cooler, right? I mean that figuratively. You could go outside and you can say whatever stupid nonsense you want and no one could do anything about it. I mean, there's a line, right? Threatening people and stuff. But what's Karen going to do? She's going to be like, I demand the city appoint a council to prevent people from having protests where they say things I don't like. They're going to be like, go home. It's called the Constitution, the First Amendment. But now that we've put our political discourse on social media, you now end up with billionaires who can snap their fingers and erase your political ideology overnight. Now, right now, these people are they're content with it. You know why? Because they're the ones in power. Look, man. I don't think Jack Dorsey's all that bad, to be honest. But I do think he is very ignorant when it comes to a lot of key news issues. And I do believe that he wants some kind of, freedom or whatever. But he doesn't understand that he's being heavily influenced by this new age religion, this cult dogma. He really is. Check out the Joe Rogan podcast from last year that we did. He truly doesn't understand that he's over the line and catering to a bunch of wackos. And so when you get these people enforcing this insanity, it's just not good for anybody. She says, the boogeyman plunging him and the family of his late wife into the very worst of memory holes is a conspiracy theory loving, twitchy fingering, blah, 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 Donald Trump. President Trump on Tuesday tweeted to his nearly 80 million followers, alluding to the repeatedly debunked falsehood that my wife was murdered by her boss, former U.S. Rep. Joe Scarborough. The son of the president followed and more directly attacked my wife by tweeting to his followers as the means of spreading this vicious lie. That's from the husband. Yeah, I think it was wrong. They got to drop it, man. I hear so many stories, conspiracy theories, and people talk about like, I know this happened. And at a certain point, it's like, bro, I know, I get it. I hear you. It's been 20 years. What more can you do right now? Because people get fervent on this stuff. So I'll tell you what, right now, you are not winning anyone over by doing this. How many people do you think sitting in there at home going like this, who should I vote for? Then they see Donald Trump tweet about Joe Scarborough and they're like, wow, I just saw this. That means I'll vote for the president. Nobody. I'm sorry, dude. Okay. The first tweet, I get it. It's him, throwing, below the belt punch, getting his audience to, to like his base will be like, yeah, go for it. But come on, let's be honest, man. It's not convincing anybody to do anything. So here's what Karen Swisher says. Mr. Colossus deserves an answer from Mr. Dorsey, who has the unenviable task of sorting out what is perhaps unsortable, which is to say the ugly heart of Twitter's most famous character. While sources close to the company said executives had been trying to figure out what to do over the weekend, the company has, at this writing, been silent about the latest controversy involving Mr. Trump's appalling and rule-breaking Twitter habit. I got an answer for you, Twitter. It's called free speech. How about you get rid of these fake rules that prop up one ideology and let people speak their minds? There's a funny post. It went viral. It was like a comment from 4chan. Someone said, any sufficiently unmoderated platform will become right-wing. Leftists require moderation for their ideology to persist. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Your ideas aren't good enough to debate. You aren't good enough to debate your ideas. I can debate left-wing policy positions that I hold all day and night and have a good discussion about it. We don't have that anymore. These people have become weird, dried husks without principle, shells of whatever was left of the actual liberal principles. And now the actual liberals are joining the right-wing culture war side. Why? Hey, man, look, I like Dave Chappelle being offensive. And they gave him a bad rating on Rotten Tomatoes. That is insane. I don't know where it's at right now. I like Ricky Gervais. I like edgy comedy. I like Family Guy. Seth MacFarlane, I love how he you know what, man? I think Seth MacFarlane needs to get off his high horse. He's not the worst, in terms of virtue signal. He's not like Mark Ruffalo or something. But come on, man. You're going to come and rag on the president. Dude, you invented half of the jokes that Trump's base likes saying. So calm down a little bit. But let's get to the point where she talks about, I don't know, whatever this stupid council thing is. She says this mess is, she actually brings up Alex Jones. I'm not going to get into that. This mess is perhaps the high tide of that endless spew of toxic bile because it is being relentlessly amped by the leader of the free world. Tweeting misinformation is not new for Mr. Trump, who uses the service as his political cudgel to govern, campaign, wage petty digital wars, and more recently peddle dangerous medical advice about COVID-19. Says who? Says you? Come on, man. I find it hilarious that two non-scientists argue over what is or isn't safe. Sorry, pass. There have been some studies saying it's not safe. There have been some studies saying it is safe. Look, let's be honest. Hydroxychloroquine, just as an aside, has been around for decades. Okay, we know what the risks and the problems are. Pass. Come on. At least Mr. Trump is consistent in his lowering of the bar. Yeah. She goes, let's get to the real issue here. The real issue is the very serious collateral damage of this fight, which is the post-mortem libel of Miss Clausudis and the ensuing suffering of her husband and family. They are the victims of Mr. Trump and of Twitter's inability to manage its troubled relationship with him. The company tends to be hands-off when a Trump controversy erupts, relying on a tenet that he is a public figure and also that it cannot sort out what is truth and a lie and is therefore better off letting its community argue it out. While that might work when it comes to some issues, it has broken down here. No, it hasn't. You're just a Karen who wants Trump bad because you're like, that was mean, Trump. You got to get rid of it. Sorry. Guess what? People say mean things every day. Okay, how about this? You tweet mean things, Kara Swisher. I would like you banned because in my perspective, you've crossed the line. And guess what? I got a ton of people who agree with me. So should we ban you? No, you don't like the president. That's too bad. I don't like his tweets either. Too bad. What am I going to do about it? Welcome to being an adult. There's no authority figure that's going to come down and take care of all of your problems for you. Grow up and learn how to solve your own issues. And that means sometimes people say mean things and you can't do anything about it. I present to you. Okay, hold on. I got to read you this Gordian knot thing she brings up. And then I want to give you a real scenario to help you put this into perspective about these stupid Karen culture people. How to fix it. She said, well, I had thought of throwing Mr. Trump off Twitter was not the worst idea. Had thought throwing him off Twitter was not the worst idea. After all, what would the president do without his raging addiction to Twitter? Dude, he'd go on Gab. He'd go on Minds. And then all of a sudden, Twitter would lose substantial power. And you know what? Trump should. He should have done it a long time ago. Don Jr. should have done it a long time ago. Ivanka should have done it a long time ago. Any one of these people in the Trump family could go to any other platform and make a post. And they would force the media to cover it. They don't do it. Instead, what do we get? Send us a message through this forum. They put up a website and it's like, have you been censored? Let us know. And that's it. And then what? And then Donald Trump, we get a story that he's considering putting together a council to review cases of social media censorship. Yeah, it's called the First Amendment, dude. Let me tell you something. The First Amendment actually stops the government from creating a rule that would infringe on the speech. That means Twitter is a company. Yes, they're a private company. Cannot be compelled to host speech. It is a serious problem. We can change things, but it actually is a First Amendment argument stopping us. This is the challenge. Now, I personally think we need to have these platforms function in some way where everyone's allowed to speak because we can't have political discourse happening under the constraints of Jack Dorsey. Or what Karen Swisher says. She says that what does she bring up a council or something? She says you can't ban them because it'll create a firestorm. That I get. She says you can also label Trump's tweets as misinformation or whatever. Sure. And they're not doing that to Joe Biden. Again, top company executives, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. She says she actually brings up a content board. Mr. Dorsey could set up an independent content board as Facebook has recently done, which could take on thorny questions like this and remove them from his purview. This might seem like a cop-out, but putting these questions up for a more measured debate might be the exit that the company needs to focus on the rest of its business. Perhaps such a board could include Mr. Klasutis, who might know more than most people about the price of all this. Wait, what? Yes, that's right. We want to bring on somebody who's going to review content and have it banned, and it's going to be someone who has a conflict of interest? Dude, you know what? No. Just no. In the real world, there is no content review board to stop someone from speaking. You people are authoritarian lunatics. Let me now present to you a scenario I would like for you to consider. Imagine there are no cities. They have all been wiped out by a mysterious blast of energy. I don't know, came from the center of the earth, and whoosh, all the cities are gone. And now you got a bunch of people, and most of them are dead, and it's like the post-apocalypse. So now everyone's devolved into hunter-gatherers again. And here you are with your sharp and pointy stick, walking through the woods, and all of a sudden, somebody walks up in front of you, and they start laughing, and they say, "You look dumb. You're dumb." And they start insulting the way you look. They insult the color of your skin. They call you, a bunch of awful names. Who are you going to do? Are you going to be like, please, somebody, is there any authority above us who can tell him to stop saying this? Sorry, you can wag your pointy stick at him, but if he's got a pointy stick too, guess what? Ain't nothing you can do about it. Welcome to reality. Now, what's your solution? You have a council appointed where people can be like, I deem that what you said is offensive. Off with his head. No, we don't like that. We like freedom. Get it? You don't like what other people say. You know what happens? These people just never learn, right? I love it. It's I think Glenn Greenwald said something like this, where it's like, I forgot the exact quote, but it was funny. He basically said, if there was one thing that proved the leftists had the complete inability to learn, it's that they keep advocating for censorship and then they get censored and go, oh no, what's happened? Look, she wants to get a council appointed to take down Trump's tweets. You know what? Okay, yes, you're a whiny Karen. I get it. But think about what that means. She only really wants this because she thinks it'll be a weapon for her to point at other people. Why? We would put Mr. Klasutis on the panel. And what if the panel was set up by Trump? What if that was the issue? What if it was set up by, like, I don't know, a think tank that included libertarians, and then all of a sudden they didn't want to ban anybody, and now you're going, but the council's not working. Yeah, because what makes you think the people in this council will have your opinion? What she doesn't get is that the 80 million people who follow Trump to see what he has to say. It's that simple. Now, I'm willing to bet a large portion of them hate Trump, but there's a lot of them who like Trump, and they like what Trump has to say. You have a lot of followers, to be honest. Karen Swisher has a lot of followers. Fine, that's fine. But she doesn't have as many as Trump. So if you want to go up against a battle of public opinion, here's what I say we do. Let's have a vote. Who should be outright purged from the platform? Karen Swisher or Donald Trump? How about we do this? Everybody lays out their arguments in the court of public opinion, and then we'll see who gets removed. And I'll tell you who it would be. It would be her because Trump has more followers than you. Now, of course, if you got everyone else to go up against Trump, that's not the point I'm trying to make, right? If she went to all the resistance and was like, everybody, come on, let's go for it, it would be a weird, I don't know who would win. Trump probably would still win because there probably would still be a lot of leftists and journalists who would say, no, leave Trump up. And then she gets banned. But if it came down to you saying, I think Trump must be, his tweets should be removed, and Trump saying, I think her tweets should be removed, who has more public support? So let's say we put it to a vote. Who should be on this council? Trump's got more followers than you. So no, don't go advocating for things you think you're going to win. And then I'll tell you what happens. You appoint these people to positions of supreme executive authority, and then they just get rid of you next. Listen, I think Trump is definitely crossing the line with these tweets. I don't like that Trump tweets these things. Like, let's be honest, man. I don't know anybody who does. Well, that's not true. I know a lot of people who do. That's completely wrong. It's an exaggeration. Most people I know roll their eyes at Trump's tweets, but they at least recognize Trump has a right to do it. And saying these things isn't against the rules. So now you want to change the rules because you don't like that Trump is playing by the rules? Nah, this is what they keep doing. It's their MO. Look at mail voting and all that other stuff. So I'll leave it there. Stick around. Next segment's coming up at 1 p.m. on this channel, and I'll see you all then.